So in this video, I'm going to list all of the places that I personally stay at for free overnight. I could make this list super long and I could list every single place you could possibly sleep in your car overnight, but I feel like that's unnecessary because I've traveled to several different states now, and I've only needed just this small list, and it's worked for me. Now, there are some things you want to keep an eye out for, right? The very first thing that can happen to you is you can get the knock. In the middle of the night, you can have someone knock on your window telling you, hey, you can't sleep here and you have to leave. It's terrifying. Another thing that can happen is your car can get towed. You can also get a parking ticket, in places you're not supposed to park. And obviously, the most dangerous, the one thing no one wants ever is to get broken into. Someone breaks into your car, tries to steal your stuff while you're sleeping in there. That's never happened to me before, but that is a thing that happens, and that's like the number one thing you want to try to avoid, right? If you are sleeping overnight in like the middle of nowhere outside of a city, like me, like right now, for example, wildlife, bears, skunks, mountain lions, you got to keep an eye out for those things. But I feel like that's a lot safer than being in a city with other people around you. It's a little scary being alone, but like in the place that I'm at right now, for example, last night I heard this weird sound, like rocks falling off a cliff next to me. I could have sworn there was an animal like right outside my car. It was terrifying, but realistically, I know I'm going to be safe, right? I would much rather be scared than be killed. So, yeah. So the first thing that I do whenever I'm in a new city and I need a place to stay overnight is I actually open an app on my phone called iOverlander, and it's free to download. It's on iOS. I don't know what else it's on, though, but yeah, I open up the app, and usually the area that I'm staying at, it'll have a whole list of, campsites nearby you can stay at. Some are free, some cost money, but it'll show you a whole bunch, right? You'll know which ones are free because there'll be green circles with a tent and then a crescent moon over it. Those are the ones you want to keep an eye out for, because if you click on those, you'll actually be able to read what other people have to say about this camping spot. Like, for example, sometimes they'll say, oh, this place was so trashy, or, has a wonderful view, or you're not actually supposed to camp here, And they can also, show pictures of what it looks like here. So it can be really helpful. It's nice. Usually in the city, that's where people are going to, try to break into your car more often. So I like to be away from people. It's a lot scarier, but it gives me comfort because I know I'm not going to get the knock, someone knocking on the window overnight, or, someone robbing trying to break in my car. That's most likely not going to happen here. So it really just depends on the place that you check out, It could be safe, it could be dangerous. It's all up to you, but iOverlander is the app that I use, and I love it. Now, a nice alternative to iOverlander is actually a website called freecampsites.net. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't really like this website that much because it does the same exact thing as iOverlander, except it doesn't show as many places. So, now, it's a nice alternative whenever iOverlander doesn't show me any nice places nearby, but it's a backup. So whenever these aren't really helping me out that much, the second thing that I will do is I will actually go online and, figure out what is the safest part of the town that I'm in, right? And once I get the idea of where it's the safest, I will actually look for hotels there. And I will literally just park my car in a hotel parking lot and put up my window covers and call it a night, Now, you want to be careful because if you look for the hotels that are, way too cheap, most likely it's going to be kind of a sketchy place, like Super 8, Motel 6. Those are usually sketchy places. Yeah. Now, you want to be careful whenever you choose hotels, because if you choose to sleep in a hotel parking lot of a hotel that's really cheap, usually it's going to be kind of a sketchy place, right? But if you go for a fancy hotel, there is a very high chance that the people that stay there overnight, like in the hotel rooms, they actually have like parking tickets or whatever that they have on their windows, and security will go around and they'll see, hey, this person is not sleeping inside of a hotel room, and then they'll tow your car, give you a ticket. I don't really know, but I just know, stay away from the super expensive hotels, stay away from the super cheap hotels, right? So I usually just try to look for a generic hotel that isn't too expensive, isn't too cheap. It's just right in the middle, right? And every single morning, you have a bathroom right there in the hotel that you can just walk into, change, you brush your teeth, whatever you need to do, and you can walk right out, and they won't care. And sometimes hotel lobbies even have Wi-Fi, and you can just, hang out, just chill for a bit. So if iOverlander, freecampsites.net, and hotels all fail me, my next go-to is I will try to sleep in either a Cracker Barrel parking lot, Bass Pro Shop, or Cabela's parking lot. And those are all usually about the same. Like, they usually allow people to stay there overnight. But the problem with these three options are they're not going to want you staying there for like several days in a row, right? This is usually just for people like, coming and going, which is why I don't really stay there that often. Well, that's one of the reasons. Yeah. I stayed in a Bass Pro Shop parking lot back in Kansas for like 2 weeks, maybe even longer than that. And I eventually did get the knock on my window, of them telling me to leave. Yeah, me staying there for 2 weeks, that was a little unnecessary, though. So that was on me, but, And now, with these three options, you're kind of an easy target for your car to be broken into, because you're still in public, but there's usually not anyone around you parked there, so, I don't know. I don't really feel that safe doing it. Would people actually break into a car that is in one of these three parking lots? Probably not, because they might assume that someone is sleeping in the car, but you never know. It still makes me a little uneasy. Not the best, but I mean, can't complain, I guess. This one might be a little weird, but I've done it and it works. You can sleep in your car overnight in random apartment parking lots, As long as the parking lots aren't like numbered and like, have assigned parking spots for people that live there, just look for a nice apartment in a safe area and just park somewhere, away from the entrance, and you should be good for the night, I've only done this once in Oklahoma in a certain apartment complex. It was really nice. It worked. I didn't have anyone knock on my window. And honestly, that should be it. You should not need any other, alternative choices for places to sleep at. But worst case scenario, right? This is, your next choices are going to be truck stops. Oh gosh. I've only been to one truck stop before, but 2 actually. They're sketchy. I don't like them. One of them I was able to sleep at overnight, but it was just so sketchy and like, it did not give good vibes. But the second truck stop I stayed at, which was in California, I had a security guard at like 2 a.m. saying, hey, you can't sleep here overnight, and I had to leave. So there's that. So make sure you ask the people working there if you can stay there overnight. I don't remember if I did or not, but probably not. But yeah. Yeah. And now, the one place that I will refuse to go to sleep in overnight, no matter what, is a freaking Walmart parking lot. Why do people, how can people just sleep overnight in Walmart parking lots? 1, you're in public. 2, Walmart's already sketchy enough, unless you're in like a super rich area and like there's no crime at all. And I don't know. Walmart's just give such a bad vibe. Like, I shop there, but I'm not going to sleep overnight there. I don't know. There's, like, usually not really many people parked near you in this giant parking lot. So it just seems like you're such a big spotlight, to be broken into. I don't know. I mean, if other people want to sleep in Walmart parking lots, you do you. But I don't know. I would rather be out in nature, in the middle of nowhere, where no one is around than in a Walmart parking lot. So, yeah. That's my list of places that I stay at and that I don't stay at. That really is all you need. I've been to like 5 different states, and I have not had to leave this list. So, yeah, do what you will with that information. I am going to leave now. Yeah. Bye. I'm leaving. Bye. No. I'm too lazy to get out of my car.